Hello, everyone. Please, for this video on human trafficking letters from prison, please make sure that you don't have any children around or where they can hear this. I have two actual letters that were photocopied going in and out of a prison. And these letters indicate human trafficking is going on from the streets within the prison system. And I wanted to do this short. I hope it's short. I'm going to read these letters. They have some language that cannot be heard by children. These letters, when you find these letters, this type of letter in a prison, when you're doing your cell searches, you catch inmates passing kites, whatever you do, photocopy these, write an incident report and turn it in. Hopefully management will do something with them. If they don't, at least you've done your part. Keep copies as well, in case something turns up involving what you have discovered in these inmate letters. You know, we do have human trafficking going on within our prison systems. 75% of trafficking is women and children. About 25% is men and boys. And we have a female prisons here in Florida where human trafficking is going on. It has gone on. And there has been arrests made in the Orlando, Florida area, with things going on from the streets with human traffickers to Lowell Correctional Institution. I'm going to put a couple of photos up as I read the letters. As I read each letter, I'll put the photo up in the corner of the letter. But these are things to look for. Here we go. Here's a letter from a prison, I won't say which one, that was confiscated by an officer and photocopied, and an incident report was done. And here we go. And you see if you can pick up what might lead to human trafficking or what would indicate this is human trafficking. Right. Pussy makes the world go round, so let's get it. We need a team of 8 solid bitches who are not jealous shit, and we cannot go wrong. Get a house in Miami on the water somewhere and get in it. Getting out of town. Well, it's a way better spot than Orlando right now. Gee, shit, that's where I live by. Baby, I know there are hoes in there with you, and I know you real people, so make it happen. Let's build on shit. Them hoes need to come home to something real. Feel me? I need to know where you stand as far as what I am telling you. I am really trying to, and then we stop the letter there because then it goes on into other things. But what's happening, we're having female inmates who are in with human traffickers, and of course a lot of female inmates who are victims also of human trafficking. Yes, I know it sounds strange. Female inmates victims. Well, they're victims of human trafficking. Whether they get into this stuff voluntarily, a lot of them don't. So, we can't say, oh, all of them are just dirt. They all get into it. Well, a lot of them had no place to go, and they got manipulated into being used in human trafficking rings. Now, what happens is some of these tougher women, as they call them, bitches, continue to ride with the human traffickers even when they're in prison. So now they're recruiting female inmates from within the prison. They're finding females that have no place to go. Remember in the letter, they said, make it happen. Let's build on shit. Them hoes need to come home somewhere. See, they're looking for female inmates that have no family, no known place to go, no place, no money when they get out of prison. And they'll pick them up from the prison and get them right back into the human trafficking business, okay? Notice I said Orlando's been a hot spot, and there's a video I'm going to put in the comments from an officer from Orlando. I think the video already has 14 million views. He was finding things out that was happening at a prison in Florida. It was ignored, but he got picked up by a company to do a short documentary, and police in Orlando made an arrest on a guy who was recruiting females out of a prison. See, this stuff is real. We can ignore it if we want to, But the letter is there. These things are important. These are important to report. And our management needs to realize when these things are reported that it is serious and we need to investigate it. If we just ignore these things, we're not doing our part as a branch of the criminal justice system. Corrections is a branch of the law enforcement criminal justice system. And it must do its part to help the fight in human trafficking. Everybody on both sides are fighting human trafficking worldwide, global-wide. Why are we any different? We are law enforcement. We're corrections law enforcement. We need to be involved, and we need to set up a program in every prison, just like we do with gang members. We need to set up a program to identify tattoos, and here's some tattoos of branding of female inmates, real tattoos. We need to photograph these tattoos. We need to keep them on record. We need to keep letters like this on file. And we need to fight and assist the fight against human trafficking. Somewhere out there, there's a daughter, a son, a child that's even connected in these letters. Because, you know, some of these women they're recruiting out of prison have children. Where do you think they're going to go? If they take these 8 girls to this house in Miami and use them for human trafficking, who's watching their children while they're performing the deeds of human trafficking, you know? It's a sad situation. It's not just these women who are the victims. It's their children. Here's another letter, example of a recruiting letter from an inmate. I talked to another girl about you. She has blue eyes, long brown hair with a bubble butt, so she's fun size. She hits the fun size. She's into street life. Well, that means several things. She's gotten herself in trouble from probably a young teenager living on the streets, and she's into street life. She has no other life that she knows. That's an indicator telling the person on the outside she's already into street life, so she's a good target. She has 10 months left, so she has 10 months to go on her sentence. Now, a lot of people would read this and say, so what? She's a dirtbag. She lives on the street. Folks, you have to look at the big picture. You can't just look at that and say, okay, that's it. There's nothing there. These letters all have something if we are willing to report it and investigate it. Okay, we have to. We have to help and do our part. Don't you know when you look, you'll know her when you look her up. August 13th. And I'll be home. I can't wait. So this person is going home and also giving information about another girl who doesn't have a place to go, is going to hit the streets when she gets out. Does it hurt to turn these in and do an incident report? No. Do you have a supervisor that's going to say, what are you writing that up for? Are you crazy? Yes, we have something like that. That's got to stop. All this information needs to be gathered, put in a file, just like we do our STGs, our gangs, and strategic threat groups. But this is a threat against human victims for human trafficking. As far as I'm concerned, that's a threat group. Somebody's child or daughter or little boy or young boy is going to get abused sexually and used for entertainment in the underground sex world. You think that's not a threat? Then I don't know if you have a heart at all. Sorry to put it that way, but we can't ignore these things. I know everybody's going, my gosh, we got so much to do already. We have so much to keep care of. We have so many records, staff shortage. Folks, for those of us that tough it out and stay for the full career, this is our job. We are a branch of the law enforcement, and we must do our job in the fight against human trafficking, and we can help detectives on the street, global investigators, FBI. There's a lot of places you can contact with this information. If we're too lazy to investigate it, at least send it off to one of these agencies. Have an appointed officer in charge of this, and send this information to your local police agencies who investigate it, global agencies, FBI, send it out. At least get it out there so it can be looked into, okay? And then if somebody picks it up, if we don't, we'll assign one of our investigators to work with the outside agency. I would love to see our agency take this human trafficking more seriously. Thank you very much for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories. I tied up 10 minutes of your time. Please subscribe.